What happens to your soul while your body sleeps? What forces move in the darkness of your bedroom when your mind has surrendered to rest? Padre Pio knew the answer, and what he saw would shake anyone who heard it. He saw what demons do to you while you sleep, not your body, your soul. He watched them work in the invisible hours. He watched them plant seeds that would grow into choices. He watched them shape the morning you would wake to, and he wept for those who had no idea they were being hunted in their dreams. This is not a story about nightmares. This is about something far more real. This is about the battlefield you never see, the war that happens when you close your eyes. Padre Pio was not like other men. God gave him eyes to see what others could not. He saw angels standing in the aisles during Mass. He saw demons crouching in the corners of confession booths. He saw the state of souls as clearly as you see a face. And when he prayed through the night, when the monastery was silent and the world believed itself alone, he saw the truth about sleep. He saw that the body rests, but the soul does not stop. And neither do the enemies of your soul. They wait for you to lie down. They wait for your guard to drop, and then they begin their work. One night, Padre Pio knelt in his cell. His hands were folded. His eyes were closed. But inside, he was awake in a way most people never are. The Lord opened his sight, and suddenly he was no longer in his room. He was standing in a vast and shadowed place. It was not hell. It was not heaven. It was the borderland, the invisible layer that presses against the world of flesh, the realm where spirits move. Before him stretched endless rows of sleeping bodies, thousands, millions, people in beds across the earth. Their chests rose and fell. Their eyes were shut. They looked peaceful. But Padre Pio saw deeper. He saw their souls, and around each sleeping soul, he saw demons. They did not scream. They did not attack with claws or fire. They whispered. They crouched beside the sleepers like patient gardeners, planting seeds in soil that could not resist. They leaned close to the souls and breathed images into their minds, faces, voices, fears, desires, tiny threads of thought that would tangle into webs by morning. Padre Pio watched one soul in particular, a man. His body was asleep in a small room. His soul hovered just above him, still tethered, still resting. But beside him knelt a demon. It was thin and gray, with hands like smoke. It whispered into the man's ear, not words exactly, ideas, the face of a woman, a memory of anger, a craving for something the man had given up years ago. The demon did not force. It suggested, it reminded, it stirred, and the man's soul responded. Even in sleep, it leaned toward the whisper. It remembered the feeling. The demon smiled and whispered again. This time the image was stronger, the craving sharper. The man's soul began to shape itself around the thought. By the time morning came, the man would wake and think the desire was his own. He would not know it had been planted while he slept. This is what demons do. They do not wait for you to sin. They prepare you to sin. They work in the hours when you cannot fight back. They plant thoughts in the soil of your rest, so that by the time you wake, the roots are already deep. You think the temptation is new, but it was sown while you slept. Padre Pio saw this and understood. Sleep is not neutral. Your body rests, but your soul remains. And your soul is still a target. The demons know this. They know that a sleeping soul is like a garden without a gardener. They can enter, they can plant, they can cultivate the sins you will choose tomorrow. But this is not the end of what he saw. He turned and saw another soul, a woman. She too was asleep, but around her bed stood something else. Angels. Bright and silent, they formed a circle. And when the demons approached, they could not pass. The angels did not fight. They simply stood. Their presence was a wall. The demons hissed and circled, but they could not get close. The woman's soul rested in peace. No whispers reached her. No seeds were planted. She had protection. Padre Pio asked without words, "Why her? Why not the others?" And the answer came, not in a voice, but in knowing. She had prayed before she slept. She had asked for protection. She had placed herself under the shield of God. And so the angels stood guard. The demons could not touch her. This is the first law of the invisible night. Prayer before sleep is not a ritual. It is a fortress. When you pray before you close your eyes, you are not just saying words. You are calling the guards to their posts. You are inviting the angels to stand watch. And where angels stand, demons cannot work. But most do not pray. Most fall into bed and surrender to exhaustion, and their souls lie unguarded, open, available. The demons know this. They wait for it. They count on it. Padre Pio watched another soul, a young man. He had been good during the day. He had gone to work. He had been kind to his family. He had not committed any great sin, but he had not prayed before sleep. He simply collapsed into bed, his mind already half gone. His soul hovered above his body, resting but not shielded. A demon approached. It did not look monstrous. It looked almost gentle. It knelt beside the young man's soul and began to show him images. A screen of light appeared in the air, visible only to the soul. On it played scenes. A conversation the young man had years ago. A person who had hurt him. The demon replayed the memory, but it changed the details. It made the hurt sharper. It added words that were never spoken. It twisted the past just enough to make the young man's soul feel justified in anger. The soul watched. And slowly, it began to agree. Yes, he thought, I was wronged. I have a right to be angry. The demon whispered again, you should not forgive. You should remember. You should protect yourself. By morning, the young man would wake with a strange heaviness. He would think of the person who hurt him and feel the anger fresh, as if it had just happened. He would not know the memory had been altered. He would not know the resentment had been fed while he slept. He would think it was his own feeling, and he would act on it. This is the second law. Demons do not only plant new sins, they water old wounds. They take your memories and replay them in the dark. They edit your past while you sleep, adding bitterness, twisting truth, making you wake up angrier, more fearful, more suspicious than when you went to bed. You think you are just remembering, but you are being taught to hate. Padre Pio saw this happen to soul after soul. Marriages broken by resentments planted in sleep. Friendships destroyed by suspicions whispered in the night. People waking up convinced they were victims, convinced they were unloved, convinced they had to defend themselves, all because demons had worked on their memories while they rested. And then he saw something worse. He saw a soul that had been good. A woman who prayed, who went to Mass, who tried to live well. But she had a secret sin. Something she had not confessed. Something she told herself was small. A lie she had not corrected. A habit she had not broken. A grudge she had not released. She thought it did not matter. She thought she could deal with it later. But the demons knew about it. And while she slept, they went to work on it. They did not attack her with temptation. They attacked her with comfort. They whispered to her soul, "It is not that bad. Everyone does this. You are a good person. You do so many other things right. This one thing does not define you. God understands. You do not need to confess it. You do not need to change it. You are fine." And her soul, tired from the day, accepted the comfort. It felt good to be reassured. It felt good to be told she was fine. By morning, the guilt she had felt during the day was gone. She woke up feeling light, peaceful. She thought it was grace, but it was not grace. It was sedation. The demons had numbed her conscience while she slept. They had silenced the voice that was calling her to repent. This is the third law. Demons do not always make you feel bad. Sometimes they make you feel too good. They erase your guilt. They soothe your conscience. They make you stop hearing the voice of God. And you wake up thinking you are at peace, when really you're just becoming deaf. Padre Pio saw this, and it grieved him more than anything, because he knew that a soul without guilt is a soul without direction. Guilt is not the enemy. False guilt is. But real guilt, the kind that comes from the Holy Spirit, is a gift. It is the voice that says, "Come back, turn around. You are going the wrong way." When demons erase that voice, they do not set you free. They cut the rope that was pulling you home. He saw souls who used to feel conviction when they sinned. But after months, years of the demons working on them in their sleep, they felt nothing. They sinned and shrugged. They hurt others and felt no sorrow. They drifted further and further from God, all while believing they were fine. The demons had done their work slowly, night after night, erasing one warning at a time. But then Padre Pio saw something that gave him hope. He saw a soul in the middle of a demonic attack. A man who had lived badly, who had sinned often, who had ignored God for years. He fell asleep drunk. His soul was clouded, heavy, barely conscious. Demons swarmed around him like flies. They whispered every vile thing. They showed him images of pleasures he had tasted and could taste again. They mocked him. They told him he was too far gone. They told him God had given up on him. And the man's soul began to believe it. It curled in on itself, sinking deeper into despair. But then, from somewhere far away, a sound, a voice, faint but clear. Someone was praying. A mother, maybe, a friend, a stranger who had heard the man's name once and thought to pray. The prayer rose like a thread of light through the darkness. It reached the man's soul. And for just a moment, the demons pulled back. Not because the prayer was loud, but because it was real. Because it carried grace. And grace, even a drop of it, is stronger than any whisper. The man's soul stirred. It lifted its head. It remembered something. A name. Jesus. It said the name not out loud, but in the deep place where souls speak. And the demons scattered. Not forever, but enough. Enough for the man to wake up and feel, just for a moment, that he was not alone. Enough for him to think, just for a second, that maybe he could change. This is the fourth law. Prayer covers the sleeping. Not just your own prayer, but the prayers of others. When someone prays for you while you sleep, they are sending angels to your bedside. They are breaking the work of demons before it takes root. You may never know who prayed for you, but you will wake up different because they did. Padre Pio saw this again and again. Souls on the edge of ruin, saved by the prayer of someone who loved them. Children shielded because their parents prayed over their beds. Husbands and wives protected because their spouses whispered their names to God before closing their eyes. Strangers rescued because someone in a monastery or a quiet room decided to pray for the souls who had no one. He saw the threads of light crisscrossing the darkness. Every prayer was a thread. Every Hail Mary. Every Our Father. Every quiet asking for help. The threads wove together into a net that caught the falling, and the demons hated it. They could not cut the threads. They could only avoid them. And then Padre Pio saw the final thing. He saw the moment of waking. He watched souls return to their bodies. He saw them open their eyes, stretch, begin their day. And he saw that most of them had no idea what had just happened. They did not know they had been fought over. They did not know seeds had been planted or prayers had shielded them. They simply woke up and thought, "This is just another morning." But it was not just another morning. It was the result of a battle, and the way they would live that day. The choices they would make, the thoughts they would think, had already been shaped by what happened while they slept. Some woke up angry without knowing why. Some woke up craving things they thought they had beaten. Some woke up numb to the voice of God, and they thought it was just them, just their personality, just their struggle. They did not know they had been worked on in the night, but a few, a precious few, woke up different. They woke up with clarity, with strength, with a strange peace they could not explain. They thought it was luck, or a good night's sleep. They did not know angels had stood guard. They did not know someone's prayer had covered them. They did not know grace had fought for them while they rested. This is the truth that Padre Pio carried with him every day. Sleep is not neutral. Your body rests, but your soul is still in the fight. And demons know this. They count on you not knowing it. They count on you thinking that what you feel in the morning is just you. But it is not just you. It has been influenced, shaped, planted, watered. And this is why Padre Pio begged people to do one thing before they closed their eyes at night. Pray. Not a long prayer, not something complicated. Just a simple asking. Lord, protect me while I sleep. Guard my soul. Send your angels to stand watch. Let no enemy plant seeds in me tonight. Cover me with your blood. Keep me safe. That is all it takes. That simple prayer is a wall. It is a signal. It tells the angels, I am asking for help. And they come. They stand. They guard. And the demons, no matter how patient, no matter how clever, cannot pass. But if you do not ask, the guards do not come. Not because God does not care, but because He respects your will. If you do not invite protection, He does not force it. You are left to sleep unguarded. And the demons are very, very patient. Padre Pio also taught people to pray for others before they sleep, to say the names of those they love, to ask God to send angels to guard them too. Because your prayer can save someone you will never meet. Your prayer can shield a soul on the other side of the world. You do not need to know their struggle. You just need to say, Lord, protect those who are sleeping tonight. Guard them. Keep them. Let no enemy touch them. And God hears, and angels move, and lives change without anyone knowing why. This is the hidden work of the kingdom, the invisible battle, the silent rescue. It happens every night, in every city, in every home. Demons working to plant tomorrow's sins, angels working to prevent them. And the outcome, more often than you think, depends on whether someone prayed. Padre Pio lived with this knowledge until the day he died. He saw souls destroyed by seeds planted in sleep. He saw souls saved by prayers whispered in the dark. He saw the mechanics of the invisible war, and he begged anyone who would listen. Do not go to sleep without asking for help. Do not leave your soul unguarded. Do not think the night is just rest. It is a battlefield. And you need to know which side you are arming. So what does this mean for you? Reading this now? Hearing this now? It means tonight matters. When you lie down tonight, you will have a choice. You can simply collapse into sleep, exhausted, unthinking, and let whatever comes, come. Or you can take 30 seconds and ask for protection. You can say, Lord, I place myself under your guard. Protect my soul while I sleep. Let no enemy touch me. Send your angels to stand watch. That is all. 30 seconds. But those 30 seconds can determine the state of your soul tomorrow. They can determine the thoughts you wake up with, the feelings you carry, the choices you make. And if you have children, if you have people you love, say their names before you sleep. Cover them in prayer. You may be the only one standing between them and the whispers in the dark. Your prayer may be the thread that pulls them back. You will never see the demons you stopped. But God sees, and that is enough. This is not superstition. This is not fear. This is strategy. This is knowing how the war works and refusing to fight blind. The demons are real. They work while you sleep. But so do the angels. And the angels are stronger. They just need to be invited. Padre Pio saw what demons do to you while you sleep. And he spent his life teaching one simple truth. You do not have to let them. You have a shield. You have a guard. You have a God who does not sleep, who watches over you, who sends help the moment you ask. But you have to ask. You have to pray. You have to guard the hours when your body cannot. Because the battle does not stop when you close your eyes. It only changes fields. And the soul that wins the morning is the soul that was guarded through the night. So tonight, before you sleep, remember what Padre Pio saw. Remember the demons crouching beside the beds. Remember the angels waiting to be called. And make the choice that will shape tomorrow. Pray. Guard your soul. Cover the ones you love. And wake up to a morning that was fought for, not surrendered. Because what happens while you sleep is not an accident. It is a battle. And you were never meant to fight it alone.